Hello, hello. What?
Hello.
Camera not on. Where am I? Here I am. No, my background's not on tonight. You get to see my messy room with Disney costumes hiding. What's going on in my life? Let's figure it out. Off to a great start. How's everybody's week going? 3 days in. Don't make me do all the talking. Sore? Why are we sore?
I'm sore from Monday's workout, and I'm kind of embarrassed because I should not be sore from a mostly body weight workout. But it's okay.
You're fine. You're
It's okay.
fine.
It's okay.
Me
Tonight,
too, girl. Don't be embarrassed.
It's been a hot minute since I worked out, unfortunately. It's okay. That's why we have the challenge.
that's it. Everybody's starting somewhere.
And I have this to look forward to. Look, I have my tree up, so pretty and
Oh,
festive.
I
I
got in
didn't
here with just enough time to take down the skeleton before the HOA starts being the HOA.
I hadn't decorated it yet, but the hard part is done. It's up.
Next, I can move on to Christmas stuff. Now, where's my nutrition workshop? Boom. I gotta get my life in order here. Where's my Zoom? Man,
So,
Zoom.
Cole, I am 1.2 pounds away from losing 100. I'm hoping to hit it by Friday.
What's that? Put the number out, brother.
I'm 296 point, I was this morning 296.2.
Oh my God. I want,
Yeah,
I want that five.
so do I.
When I get the five, I can start working towards the zero.
Mm-hmm.
It's baby steps.
Uh,
There we go. Now I got myself up and running. So we'll
I
talk.
am going to take a video. I'm going to take a video of the exercises. You would pee your pants. I can't. I, not flexible.
Bob, we have to work on it. For those of you that don't know, Bob started working with me in group coaching about less than a month ago.
Yeah,
Frozen after what? Where'd you dead stop at? You stopped at like
I
eight something?
stopped. Well, it went from 305 to 315, depending on how long I ran the weekends. So I was probably stuck at 305 for 5 months.
Frustrating. So now we're marching towards 295, but Bob comes from a strongman background. So for those of you that are new to weights, Bob lifts very light reps. Well, actually, no, you did some high rep stuff, but his high rep stuff was probably my body weight, like
Are
225
you going to
pounds
lose
for like 40 reps.
so that's for
I did
nutrition and
225 for
fitness? And I
30
talked
a
about
lot.
Tom. That's Tom. Well,
That's me, Megan. Megan's not on mute.
oh,
Now
yeah.
you are.
Sorry.
Sorry, I'm gonna mute everybody in a second once I get going, but I like to open up a little chit chat, see how everybody's doing. Bob, what were you saying?
So I used to warm up with 225 on the bench rate to be able to do it at least 30 times.
Good Lord.
And then I know as the military press 350, I was strong. That's
Good
just
Lord.
what probably why I have no shoulders anymore, but it's okay.
You're doing great, man. You're doing
Yeah,
great.
thank you.
You're doing great. All right, if you see me looking up, you all are up there. My presentation portion is down below, so I will be referencing that as I take you through tonight's nutrition. Some of you that have done a challenge before, you've been through a lot of this content. I did add some stuff on meal prep at the end because we only got, outside the opening call and the ending call, three real calls to stick in some value. Although I might have a surprise for some of you tomorrow. We will see. We'll see for the VIPs in the group. So expect a text message from me. Might invite you somewhere, but keep your 6:30 free. Let's dive into desktop number one. Can you see my screen?
Yes, coach.
All
Yes.
right, nutrition 101. Hit the basics. Agenda tonight, what macros are, how they work, why protein is the metabolism's best friend, how to set up calorie goals for fat loss, muscle gain, or maintenance. Typical journey, there is none. Diet trends. I love them. I hate them. I hate them more than I love them. I love the current one. So we'll go with a little love tonight. Pro tips, and then we'll cap it off with meal prep. I will try to move and groove a little fast because we got about an hour until I got another call and then Taco Wednesday with the missus. So it's my night off diet when it's Survivor night. We eat the tacos in this house. And then yeah, let's dive right in. what macros are, how they work. So the basics, if you hear the term macro, it is short for macronutrients. They're the three main nutrients that provide energy. So protein, carbs, and fats. They're the big players in the game. And we can go down to micronutrients and vitamins and all of that stuff, but for the sake of the challenge, we're really focused on protein, carbs, and fats. So a lot of people don't even realize the big simple thing is that each has a caloric value. Protein, 4 calories per gram, carbs, 4 calories per gram. Fats, they get a bad name because they got 9 calories per gram. They just tend to be denser. And that's why peanut butter is a dangerous mistress that I have. You eat a little peanut butter and you're like 500 calories overboard for the day. We're doing Greek tonight. I'll try to keep on the chat as I come through here. I'm in for the Greek. I like Greek food. But let's chat about fats first. Fats get a bad name. Thank you, 1980s, where everything went fat free. Fat was the devil in the 80s, I guess it was. Um, I'm thankful for the peanut allergy. It's a cruel mistress, I tell you that peanut butter. But the good stuff about fats, they're an energy source, really concentrated source of energy. They provide twice as many calories, obviously, a little over twice as many calories per gram versus carbs and protein. So if you're looking for extra calories, fats are a solid place to get. The reason I don't like cutting fats too low, they help with nutrient absorption. So they're essential for the absorption of fat soluble vitamins. So A, D, E, and K. If you don't eat fat, you could take A, D, E, and K all day and you just won't maximize the benefits from them. Also important for heart health. So you hear a lot of people say omega 3s, omega 6s, that though they help lower bad cholesterol, the LDL, reduce the risk of heart disease. So mono unsaturated and polyunsaturated. See me talking fast. I get jumbled up in my words because I'm going to try to jam a lot of content down everybody's throat tonight. Good for reducing inflammation. Omega 3s can help reduce inflammation. I take an omega 3. That is one of my non-negotiable supplements every single day. Good for lowering blood pressure by preventing plaque buildup in the arteries, improving blood sugar control. Monounsaturated fats can help regulate good blood sugar levels. There's my typo. Hormone production. So more so, I mean, men and women, but I've seen this a lot in women where they go very low in fats because fat free and low fat are big buzzwords, and it was a big and popular thing in the 80s, early 90s for everything to have no fat, and they are essential for the production of various hormones, including testosterone and estrogen. So if you go too low in fats, you might notice the system's not working properly. So a couple things I've seen with people go too low in fats, losing hair, which I don't think anybody on the call wants to. Worked with a woman who was coming off, she had lost her cycle before we started working together. And, it was just, she was cutting for comps and competitions and really just lost her cycle. It took a while of mental work and physical work getting the proper nutrition in until she gained that back. Um, Brain function. So fats actually are a major component of brain tissue. They're crucial for brain function. Organ protection. Fats help insulate, protect the vital organs. And one of the big things with them, satiety. So fats generally will fill you up. And being full after eating is a good thing. If you eat a bag of potato chips, you're probably not going to be full. A lot of carbs in there and quick digesting carbs. Same thing with sugary foods. It's you take them in, you're hungry 20 minutes later. Fats are going to keep you full. Avocado a day keeps the doctor away. Cell structure, fats are a key component of cell membranes. Now, not all fats are created equal. Saturated and trans. Saturated increases LDL cholesterol. That leads to plaque buildup in your arteries, can increase heart disease and stroke risk due to plaque buildup. Some have been linked to an increase in cancer and type 2 diabetes. Trans fats, the worst of them all. That's the worst for heart health. They raise LDL and lower HDL, good cholesterol, increase risk of heart disease and stroke, increased inflammation, risk of diabetes, and certain cancers. They're less healthy and should be limited. And you know what the worst part is? All that stuff at the bottom looks freaking delicious. It's all the good, tasty food. I'm looking at the wings and the burgers, and they're good. They're good in moderation, good as treats, but should not be something you're pounding down every day. Now we get to the popular one with runners, carbs. The reason they're popular with runners, they're the preferred energy source. So they provide glucose. It powers the cells, powers the muscles and brain. Um, if you've never gone low carb before, give it like 5 days. You'll probably feel gassed and you'll just be exhausted. If if I wanted to run a miracle 21-day challenge and say everybody's going to drop 10 pounds, I would cut your carbs instantly. Carbs actually help muscle uptake water. So I'd give you probably less than 20 grams of carbs. Carbs are going to help the muscle pull in water. But when they're not there, you pee a lot. And that causes a quick flush of weight. That's why people see rapid weight drop with keto. And they're like, oh my God, I lost 10 pounds in the first week. It's working. You lost 10 pounds of water weight. No one wants to lose water weight. We want to lose fat. So you can manipulate the numbers on the scale very easily with carbs. And yeah, that's because they get glucose in the muscles. Brain function, brain relies heavily on glucose for optimal function. Again, I'll reference keto. A lot of people experience brain fog in the initial stages of keto. You get kind of zonked out, little. It's not fun. I do it every once in a while just to mix things up, but I don't like to live there. I like the energy. Muscle function, essential for providing energy for physical activity and muscle movement. Again, I've been on the low carb train. I've ridden that one in my early years and never realized how strong I was until I reintroduced carbs. Another type of carb, fiber, crucial role in digestion, promotes you being regular. So if you're not going potty, I'm not talking about number one, talking about number two, you might not be getting enough fiber. And that can potentially lower bad cholesterol. So get your fiber in. I feel old when I say it, but I'm an oatmeal guy now. I get a lot of fiber from oatmeal. I tend to start my day with a good cup of oatmeal. Good for blood sugar regulation, complex carbs, whole grains and veggies, help stabilize the blood sugar levels. Fiber rich carbs, again, anything with fiber is going to make you feel fuller and potentially reduce overall calorie intake. So if we increase, a couple good fats, a lot of protein and fiber, generally most people, even though they're eating more of those things, tend to eat less overall because they just keep you full. It's like it becomes almost hard to eat the other stuff. So that's a win. Whole grains, fruits, veggies, they're also packed with vitamins, minerals, other nutrients. They also influence mood and sleep patterns by affecting serotonin levels in the brain. One of the first things when I go on now I'll use my examples. If I go on a cruise, I like to come in. I want there to be no question. I'm the most in shape person on that damn ship, except maybe the gymnast in the show and there's these dancer guys that are out there just constantly moving all day that work on the ship. That's usually guess wise. I try to come in correct, hold myself to a little different standard. One of the first things I do cut is carbs, but I will have some white rice towards the end of the night, even if it's a smaller serving, because it definitely helps with my sleep patterns. I've noticed if I cut completely, I'm just like I can't sleep. I'm up every hour. I'm restless. It's not good. So I like to get that little extra serotonin boost before bed. Now, don't pass the chips. Simple carbs, white bread, donuts, sugary drinks, and candy, all that stuff digests fast. And that's where a lot of excess weight gain comes from, potentially obesity. Really good rule of thumb in the grocery store, like the outer rim is probably going to be your best friend in most grocery stores. You're walking in, you immediately got the veggies as you go up. I'm thinking Publix. You go up, got the veggies. We hit the back aisle. It's got the meats. And then you cut down the other side, dairy, where you can get some eggs and stuff like that. And I could probably get through just going on that outer rim. Refined carbs, especially those high in added sugars, uh, have been linked to an increased risk of heart disease, probably because they increase potentially can make you obese. So, and it's again, every time I do a bad slide, it's the flippin' delicious stuff. The cookie looks better than what we got there, but we're talking nutrition. That's, we want to try to avoid these things. Metabolic syndrome, high blood pressure and excess abdominal fat, not good things, high blood sugar and excess abdominal fat. So we want to avoid those. And then blood sugar and energy fluctuations. You feel great after the cookie. You get a quick spike, and then everything crashes down. The blood sugar crashes down, energy levels crash down, and you just kind of tend to feel like garbage. So, what's the fix? Well, there's still like a half a donut in the break room at work. I'll just have one more half. It's not going to throw me off too much. And be careful, you know, when I get to protein, I might actually save this portion for protein. We're going to save it. So, hello protein. This is the metabolism's best friend. I could have kept this slide going for like 52 different pages, but big wins on protein. It helps muscle growth and repair. 90, I'm gonna guess, the challenge is called Run Lean, so I have a bunch of runners on this call. And initial looking at calories, anytime I look, and when I do one-on-one, usually when I do group coaching, I will tell you track for a week before I touch anything. Track for a week. I want to see where you're at. And then, because I'm always going to try to meet you where you're at. We're in the challenge, it's 21 days. I set the goal. It's a little more difficult for me to meet you where you're at on a challenge like this. But if I'm one-on-one with you, I want to see where you're at. If you should be at 180 grams of protein and you come in and you're eating 40 grams of protein a day, I'm going to set you up for failure by doing 180 grams. Like you're just not going to get there. We got to work our way up. But generally, I see runners like way, way below on the protein count. So what happens is break down your muscle during running. It's a catabolic activity, which means it causes muscle breakdown, and you could rebuild it, but you're not taking in enough protein. So it just contributes breakdown, 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 and you never give your body the tools it needs to rebuild, which are amino acids, which we find in protein. So with that, helps prevent muscle loss during weight loss, ensuring you lose fat, not muscle. So the first thing when I'm on a weight loss, when I'm on a cut, first thing I make sure to shore it up, anytime I'm calculating nutrition, is my protein. I make it, okay, I'm going to diet down to this number. Protein needs to be here. And that means it'll primarily the weight loss will come from fat on the body instead of muscle. The last thing I want to do, my handle is the muscle mouse. I can't be walking around skinny, marching around at 20 pounds of muscle. I gotta stay on brand. But protein, biggest thing, satiety. I should have said it's the biggest one for satiety. Helps you feel fuller, longer, reduces calorie intake, fiber, fats, protein, all aid in that. And that's why, look at the steak. Tell me you want a bag of chips well, maybe once that steak is cooked. Probably not going to want a bag of chips after you eat that big old steak. It's going to fill you up and you avoid the crap. Other thing, again, I'm looking at the steak. Meaty, it's chewy, takes a lot to get in. Your body also has to digest that steak. So what happens internally is and this accounts for a very small portion, very small piece of the pie, maybe 5% of your overall calories or less per day burned. But protein has a thermic effect. What that means is it boosts your metabolism because your body has to work harder to break it down. So diet high in protein, it's increasing that overall metabolism. And even if it's only 5%, if we're looking to lose weight, I'll take every 5% that I can possibly get. Anything to give me that edge on walking around, how I want to walk around. So also plays a role in maintaining, improving bone density. I have a couple of clients that might be on here that, let's see if they're here. Couple clients that osteoporosis is a concern. So we want to maintain bone density. Getting enough protein alongside calcium is going to be a huge win for you. Vital component of the immune system, helps fight off infection and illness, improves in the production of various hormones, which regulate many bodily processes, can be utilized for energy, when carbs and fats are low. So your body can tap into the protein. Contributes to that. Let's look at another buzzword in fitness, and I'm shocked nobody's asked in this group. You're probably the first group cohort I've done in a while what about collagen protein? Hair, skin, and nails. The collagen and protein helps contribute to the health of hair, skin, and nails because of collagen. So get more collagen, you're gonna be walking around all fabulous. We want to be looking pretty. Lean protein can help improve cholesterol levels and blood pressure. Not so lean protein. That's why you got to be careful. Don't eat steak all day. Mix it in with the chicken, the turkey, the tilapia. Salmon's good for the fats. But mix it in and you'll be in good shape. Hopefully help with blood pressure. Can also stabilize blood sugar levels. Y'all are quiet in the chat. Trying to leave room for questions tonight, so I hope I'm not moving too fast. Now, this is a simple tool. It's called tdeecalculator.net. It's a simple tool. There's probably about 20, 30 of these calculators on the internet, built into different things, but this is how you would set up calories for fat loss, muscle gain, or maintenance. Now, you would put in height, weight, gender, and activity level. You can see on this, can you see my arrow when I move around? Or is that just for me?
Yes, we can.
Good. All right, perfect. Thank you. So you can see how this skews. I've had people say that they are sedentary when they are training for dopey, which makes them an athlete. There's a over 1,300 calorie difference in your body's needs based on what you're doing. And yeah, no, well, I sit at a desk all day. I also run for an hour in the morning and I lift for 60 minutes at night. Doesn't matter that you're sitting at a desk, you're still doing the work. So this is probably the hardest thing to figure out and where I see the most skew in data. And, maintenance calories right here for that sedentary person, 2330. If this person did not want to gain any weight, that's where I would generally start you. Generally would start there. Now, I say start there because we might find out that sedentary person is doing light exercise. They might have a bigger need. They might be doing a little more, have a larger need. So there is room for the data to skew. And then we look BMI score. Please toss that in the garbage. Please toss that in the garbage. I'm starving you, Bob. To be fair, Bob, I'm reading chat. To be fair, you came in and you told me you were at 1,000 calories before we started working.
Yeah, probably.
I increased your calories. I increased his calories and his weight is starting to go down again. So his body was in protection mode. So BMI score, I fluctuate between the overweight and obese category. And I can guarantee you I'm not. So if your doctor throws BMI at you, hit them with my water bottle. Now, taking that same number, we said maintenance is 2330. 2330, and there's many ways you can break it apart. Many ways you can break it apart. I'll touch on that, Lisa. And this is maintenance. If I wanted to stay the same, I probably live at maintenance for, let's call it 12 to 16 weeks of the year where I just try to let my body get back to normal, homeostasis. Generally, I'm the reverse of most people in the fitness and bodybuilding community. Most people in that community are going to bulk up now. They're going to bulk up now. They're going to try to gain weight during the winter, October, November, December, January, maybe even February and March. The main reason, it's the season where they have their shirts on more so than they're at the beach. So while they're in a bulk, I'm actually in a cut. So I'm cutting currently. Why? Because I run around in January in a tutu. I have 6 races that I plan on running shirtless in the cold weather, and run Disney season's my lean season. So I schedule it around that, but it can, you can go either way, but I recommend, cut for maybe 12 to 16 weeks, dip it back to maintenance, maybe even float into a bulk every once in a while, depending on your goals. But that person for cutting, we take them down by 500 calories. We drop them down, and I say 500. 500 equals 500 times 7 days in the week. So what does that equal? Who's fastest with math? Go. I know what it equals.
3,500.
3,500. I'm just making sure you're still with me. 3,500. Any idea why we choose 3,500?
That's what it takes to burn 1 pound of fat.
3,500 calories in a pound. 1 pound. Thank you, Nicola. Thank you, Bob. 1 pound equals 3,500. Could we go down by 750? Absolutely, and make it a 1.5 pound deficit. A little more aggressive. That would put this person down another 250. So math is mathing 1580. Did I math that right? Yep. 1580. We're leaving less room to dig a hole for them. So eventually it's going to stall. Eventually we're no longer in a deficit. If it stalls, that's when we adjust. That's when we make an adjustment. And we recalculate these numbers, not dropping it by another 250. We say that, all right, Coach Tom started this journey at 215. He's down to 205, and the scale has stopped moving. Let's go back to day one. Let's go back to day one, recalculate these numbers for him at 205. Not just keep cutting the hole, refigure the numbers to get the needle moving. And I will stay right around a 500 calorie deficit for one reason. If I go too aggressive, I'm more than likely going to be sacrificing muscle there. So everything I do in a cut, I attempt to lift heavier. I try to maintain weights and not lose muscle. Because if you also lose muscle at this point, you're going to down regulate the metabolism. And that leads us to bulking. I very rarely have somebody that comes in and says, hey, I want to bulk. I want to gain muscle, but I definitely think there's value in there. So we add about 250 to 500. And generally, if we're coming out of a cutting phase, we're going to work towards maintenance. We're not going to jump from 1830 to 2330 because you're probably going to tack a little bit of fat on with that. But can we, week one, go back up to 1930? Can we go up to 2030? Wow, the scale did not go up as we went up in calories. And Kat just said me, but in the heart of Dopey. She's Dopey training right now. So we have her, I have her, she's one-on-one client. I have her at a maintenance calorie. And really our goal right now is for her to have enough fuel to train through Dopey and rebuild and stay fueled and not gain weight. We get a little bit of fluctuation. Some days are better than others. You know, it goes up. The body weight is never, it's never a straight line, and I'll get there in a second. But, you know, our goal with her is to try to get through this season, the next 2 months, without putting too much on and also making sure she's fueled. So it's a perfect time to kind of really go into a maintenance. Bulking, yeah, we add on. So we're going to take right from maintenance, hang out at maintenance for about 3 to 4 weeks, and then start adding. If you bulk, I've done dirty bulks and I've done clean bulks. A dirty bulk means I eat everything in sight as long as I'm going up 500 calories, doesn't matter how I get it. And a clean bulk is I'm going to up my serving of protein from 5.5 ounces to 6 ounces. I'm going to go from a quarter cup of rice to a half cup of rice. I have done the dirty bulk. My wife can attest to this. I'm not sure if she's on the call. I hate myself at the end of the dirty bulk. I everything's fluffy. Everything's my joints tend to hurt because I'm taking in a little more junk food and I get inflammation from it that my body's just not used to. And she knows I'm excited to go right back into a cut, and then I almost go too far overboard. She's like, "Why do you do this?" So now I do the clean bulk. Rice goes up, proteins go up, and I get stronger. So I like that method. Typical journey does not exist. Um, this is probably closest to what you'll see. Closest to what you'll see. This top one, boom, boom, boom. Let's zoom on in. You know, we're gonna have days where we spike. There might have been a birthday party right here, and you went out. Generally, with those spikes, and I don't even recall if I used a male or a female for these. Um, Probably a female, judging by the weight. Judging by the weight. But hormonal cycles, you could go up. That reminds me, I have to recalculate my wife's macros after we do this. But hormonal cycles can generally drive a woman up by 5 pounds, 5 pounds, maybe even a little more. Chinese food can fluctuate me 10 pounds like nothing. I will get inflamed. I'll be puffy. My abs will disappear. And I'm like, why did I do that? Because if you live in Lake Nona, Mr. K's is freaking delicious. That's why I do it. And I do not leave any leftovers. I have no problem saying that. But this is generally what you want to see. Trend line going down. Trend line going down. Spike for the weekend. Ooh, it dipped down even lower. Little spike up, dipped even lower. Spike, spike, up, 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 like a roller coaster. Generally what you want to see. Early on, we got this. More substantial. More substantial. Actually, I know exactly whose this is. This person was relentless on her goals. She probably looked at it and was like, "Yep, that's mine." Let's see if she's on here tonight. Yep, you know who you are. And really, this is just down to about 200 pounds right here, and steady, steady, steady. But hiccup. This we're looking. We're looking at this. I'm betting this is right around end of the month. So Thanksgiving, little spike at Christmas, cruised into the New Year's. Somewhere in February, we had a bump, but that's a really steady line. Everybody could be so hopeful to have this one. And then more fluctuations. Great initial loss, little hiccup, and drop. So reason I love one of my mentalities with a lot of people, if you are going on a vacation to Disney, forget about your diet. Focus on your family. Be present in the moment. Like if you're going on a cruise with your family, whatever you're doing, like whatever your choice of vacation is, go and freaking enjoy it. Worry about the calories when you get back. And number one rule, don't step on the scale the Monday you get back, because what you're going to see the Monday you get back is this. Oh my God, I gained, and this is really only looking at it, it's only about 2 pounds on there, but you're going to see a jump. Oh, I went up. But refueling the body, refeeding real quick can ramp up that metabolism just enough to give you a plummet. Refuel weekend, boom, let's plummet down. And that's generally, oops, that's where we went wrong. Hey, you weren't too bad at Disney. Um, I will. I will be relentless with my measurements and my tracking Monday through Friday. But when I'm off the clock and Friday at 5 o'clock hits, if she says, "Hey, I've had a week and I want to go out to dinner, I want to get a beverage," I'm not going to say no, and I'm not going to be like, I'll take the grilled chicken with salad, and you don't use any seed oils on that, do you?" No, like I'm out. I'm gonna get something a little tasty because I've been good during the week. An 80-20 rule works as long as it's not the 60-40 rule. So many people will say, "Yeah, no, I'm 80-20," and then I get to look at the numbers and I'm like, let's do the math. Let's do the math. But and then, hey, we came into a little bulk. Came into a little bulk. So typical, there is no typical journey. Diet trends, what works best? Keto cuts out an entire macro. Could you imagine if you just cut out one entire food group? What happens? You reduce the overall calorie intake. A third of the foods out there, let's cut them out. Calorie intake down. Fasting, I'm only going to eat between the hours of noon and 6 o'clock. Well, I have less time to eat. What happens? We reduce the overall calorie intake. Optavia severely restricts food. What does that do? Reduces the overall calorie intake. Atkins, again, let's cut out a food group and reduce our overall calorie intake. That is what works best. The law of thermogenics does not lie. Calories in versus calories out is what works. The problem is it is very hard. It's very, uh-oh, doggy's going crazy. It must be dinner time. It's very hard to get a clear picture on what the actual calories out are. So how many calories you're burning? Let's see. Mr. Apple Watch says I have burned 1,176 calories from activity today. It's a good estimate, I'm sure, but if I put a Garmin on, it would probably tell me 800. And if I put a Polar heart rate on and I wore that, it might tell me 1,500. The tech isn't there. If you're asking what diets I would back, Whole30. It's all natural food. It's real. It's real food. Paleo, again, all natural, real food. You still get your carbs in it, but you're getting real food. A lot of that's going to reduce inflammation. FODMAP, that's another one where we focus on reducing inflammation in the body and you're eating real food. Track the calories, have a balanced diet. I'm very, if you see me at a finish line, I know Heather saw me at a finish line last week. What did I have in my hand, Heather?
Beer, and I think there was another beer.
There was
Oh,
a couple beers.
pretzels.
I didn't have any pretzels. I had beer.
No, I can't remember. I was on. It was just JC's just told me it was just beer.
It was just beer. I like a post-race beer. I'm not gonna lie. So you
Two
can
or three.
two or three. Two or three. You
Yeah,
can
you've got
find
both of
balance
us
any
now.
which way. So you can leave room. Bob had one too. Heather and JC had one, and you can balance it out, make sure you're good. But the calories in versus calories out are really going to be the biggest driver. The hardest part is knowing what the calories out actually look like. If the needle's not moving, either the calories in are too much or we're not getting enough calories out. Tips for tracking and hitting the macros. Build the meals around your protein source. Build them around the protein source. That's I start with if I ever remember to make a video of me cooking on a Sunday, I have the pan going with ground beef or ground bison, and I've got the air fryer going with tilapia in it while I'm marinating chickens for the grill. And I usually fire up the grill at night because we'll have that for dinner, and I like to have that fresh and then save the rest. Um, Pre-log the foods. If you're using MyFitnessPal, it's so much easier if you pre-log everything. So I will generally buy 4 servings. I go to Wild Fork. I'm not sure if a lot of people have that around them, but it's a great shop for just meats and stuff and veggies. I buy the ground bison, 90% lean, 10% fat, and I make four. It's got 4 servings in it, so I dole it out into 4 little lunch things. I don't even have to count anything because it says right on the package. It's 20 grams. It's 20 grams right there. So I just log that into MyFitnessPal, and generally I will have 1 serving of that during the day, a serving of ground beef, a serving of tilapia. I will throw that all into one meal because I know that Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, I'm going to eat that. So I just make it a meal. And all right, that gets me 60 grams of protein for my day. 60 grams of protein. I have my shake. That's another 80 grams. And then I just work my way backwards. So pre-logging definitely helps. I know Bob pre-logs as well. Plan snacks that contain protein. I'm a snacker, and my wife loves to buy. She's wonderful. She loves to buy little snacks when she's at Publix, when she sees the buy one get one free. And she doesn't buy the snacks that she likes. She gets me snacks. I think it's because she wants me to stay sane and not get so focused on the numbers. But she gets me those. Y'all told me last challenge. The dots pretzel sticks. They are delicious. The honey mustard ones. I don't even like honey mustard regularly. It's delicious. I go in on those. So I try to have. They are good, Daniela. I try to have just a healthy snack in there. Amazon had a great sale last week where I bought a bunch of Quest bars for almost $1 and like 10 cents each. I got the Lenny and Larry's protein cookies. They came out to like $1 each, which they're like $4 in Wawa. And you know, playing your snacks around protein. There's a lot of good stuff out there you can get now. With that being said, you kind of open the door for a little bit of potentially disordered eating with the amount of protein snacks there are out there. You go to Target, in the protein aisle, there's no longer just protein bars. There are protein donuts, there's protein Pop Tarts, there's protein potato chips. There's nothing wrong with them. You are getting more protein. Everything is jacked with protein now. That's the big buzzword right now. And rightfully so. I've been on that train for 15 years, and I'm glad to see that it's getting its time in the sun, but they're loading everything because I mean the design is to sell you more food, right? They want you to buy food. So if I pump protein into a donut and you're on a health kick, you might be like, oh, protein donut. Now you got a taste for a donut, and you're gonna be like, you know what, that wasn't good. I'm gonna stop by Dunkin' on the way home because that protein donut tastes like crap, in my opinion. The Quest one's awful. Quick cheat on protein. If it's 150 calories, make sure it's at least 15 grams of protein. Good rule of thumb right there. 15, 30, 60. So we're talking over a third. So we said 4 calories in a gram of protein. Bob said 15 calories. So we said 15 times 4 equals 60. 60, it's over a third. And I'm glad he said that because you can go into a Wawa right now and it says Snickers with protein. It's like 4 grams of protein in a 300-calorie Snickers. But because it's got a little bit of protein, they're announcing it like it's a high protein product, which is not really true. Peanut butter, a great source of protein. Not so much. It's got protein in it, but it's a fat. It's primarily a fat food. So, watch that because especially with protein having its time in the sun right now, a lot of the food companies are not out to get you healthy. They're out to get you addicted to food and just keep going. Protein Pop-Tarts are gross. Just makes you want a real Pop-Tart. Ashley knows what's up. You don't fear carbs, time them around workouts. Since Ashley brought up Pop-Tarts, the first coach I personally worked with about 10 years ago, guy named Terry, he sent me, and I will not do this. Please don't ask me to do this. You can use ChatGPT for this if you want. Ask you to make a meal plan. I don't know. We got 32 people on here tonight. I don't know what y'all like to eat. I don't know what your palate is. I'm gonna get you the numbers. We're gonna set you up and get you as close to those numbers, and I'll give you tips on how to get there and work your way to the numbers. But a meal plan for people, it just ties you to the meal plan. It handcuffs you to it. But I got this meal plan from this coach, and it was the first time I ever worked with a coach. And the first thing was pre-workout, 1 Pop-Tart. And I was like, well, that was a waste of money. I'm not going to lose. I got in the best shape of my life, and every single day I was eating a Pop-Tart before I work out. Time them around workouts. What is in a Pop-Tart? It's a blast of sugar. So right before you work out, you got this glycogen in your system. It's fast digesting. It's similar to down in a honey stinger before a race. And at least it was a tasty treat. It kept me sane during the worst diet of my life because the other 5 meals of the day, quarter cup of rice, 4 ounces grilled turkey. I've had this conversation with multiple people this week. 7 spears of asparagus. My snack was like 11 almonds. I wish I could find that email and just share it with everybody. And then use fat strategically. Small amounts go a long way. So a thumb full of fat is generally about a serving. So watch out for those. Consistency is more important than perfection. Don't let the tracking overwhelm you. I like to track. I'll track on Sunday, make sure everything lines up for my goals, and then I will just break out the containers and eat the rest of the week, and it's all already done for me. I don't want to be measuring food every single day. Drive you nuts. On to meal prep. PB2 is good. PB2 is good. That's good stuff. Meal prep, again, it's not about perfection, it's about preparation. A lot of people fail because they wing it with the food and decisions under stress. Bye, Megan. Tell your mom feel better. Don't let perfection impede progress. Look at you, Adam. Look at him coming through. That the other half of the 2-2 guys trying to get some knowledge tonight. He misses me. Most people fail because they wing it with food decisions under stress. Don't ever go to the grocery store hungry. I do this. I go to the grocery store hungry sometimes, and it's like, yo, I'm just gonna grab, and I get so much crap I don't need. But if you go on with the plan, you're gonna be doing a lot better. I have a cart. Wild Fork does not charge me to get the groceries for me in the store, so I have my cart already saved. It is there every 2 weeks. I order double of what I need. It's 2 servings of the bison, 2 servings of the 90% lean ground beef, a 5 pound bag of chicken tenderloins, and what was my other one? My tilapias because it's a lean fish. If you eat tilapia, only buy it wild caught. And I say that because I've been on Living with the Land too many times to see those little tilapias swimming around in their own poop. And now you're never going to want tilapia again. Meal prep equals structure and freedom. It gives you control, but not restriction. So you can play with it. Danielle, I knew I'd get somebody with that one. You can play with it and figure things out, starting with the protein base. There's a lot of different ways you can prep protein. Kim was buying this ground chicken for a while that was like fajita season. We use it for a Taco Tuesday every night. And then we got so bored of it and we started making fajita burgers. So don't lift heavy when Tom makes jokes. I got jokes, Lisa. How heavy you lifting though? That's
Right
weird.
now, you there?
Yeah.
Okay. I increased my bicep curl from 25 to 27.5. They're not super heavy, but it's heavy for me because my arms and legs give out.
Single dumbbell?
Yeah.
Each arm.
Yeah. You want a picture?
Hell yeah. That I was gonna think that you're putting something up. I was gonna say that's rookie.
No, let me see if I can put it on camera.
Yeah, we got to put it in the you got to put it in the chat. I won't be able to. I got like everybody's pictures up there. I have to hunt you
Yeah,
down.
I'm working on it. I haven't
It's
done
all
this in the
good.
gym before.
It's all good. That's pretty. That's solid. Look, everybody cheering you on. Ah, where was I? Focus on consistency, not Pinterest worthy meals. That is the reason I have not shared any meal prep videos because I'm just not the guy to make it look beautiful. Like, I don't know how that person got the camera in their eyes looking down at the food while they're cracking the egg. I don't know how they made that pretty. My kitchen looks like more on the left, so we stick with that. The goal, make fuel in your body feel automatic, not overwhelming. That's how it is for me. I leave Friday a little bit to, I really just don't like to have food prep more than 4 days in a row. So, plus Friday leaves room if I miss eating something or if I go off plan, I can dive into one of those and not feel like I wasted food. But I have a 12 pack of meal prep containers. I make 3 meals for the day and then make 3 meals for the day and 4 days in a week, and they're all made out. So it's a win. I see it as a little picture in the chat, and I immediately knew you were at an LA Fitness. I could tell those dumbbells anywhere. Yep, I'm right. Uh-oh, I lost my screen. Can you see? Uh-oh, there we go. I'm back. I knew it was an LA Fitness. 27 and a half. Hey, girl. All right, more on meal prep. Somehow I got a little line there. I don't know how that happened. Tips, plan. So choose 2 to 3 protein sources. For me, the tilapia, the ground beef, the bison. I eat 200 and currently I'm at 220 grams of protein per day. So we also have grilled chicken in there. And I like to do that on a grill. I feel like it tastes better. 2 to 3 carb sources. For us, rice is a staple in this house. My wife's half Ecuadorian, so we're going to be having rice a lot. I also like sweet potatoes. Those fill me up. Good source of fiber and nutrients. I'm generally a 2 carb source guy. I know that if I'm in a bulk, I do like to mix in Dave's Power Bread. Nice, Daniela. I like to mix Dave's Power Bread in because you get a little more protein there, and I can take that ground chicken or that ground bison and turn it into a burger, and it's like my whole meals are different. 2 to 3 veggies for the week. So same thing at Wild Fork. I buy 4 bags they're about a pound each. I buy 4 bags of broccoli and 4 bags of cut asparagus because I hate cutting asparagus because there's a little white part in the end drives me crazy. So I get the pre-cut one and I just throw that in the air fryer. A little salt, a little garlic, some more spices. Wham bam, thank you, ma'am. I got my veggies. Use your macro targets or calorie range as a guide. Map out 3 to 4 meal combos. Don't overcomplicate it. And when you're prepping it, batch cook the proteins. So like I said, I got the stove going, I got the air fryer going, and I'm marinating the chicken while I do all that. And yeah, I keep it moving and grooving. I'd probably spend 30 minutes on the cooking portion and about outside of the grilling the chicken later on. I like to do that at night. And then yeah, about 45 minutes on the cleaning because I'm a mess and wifey makes me clean. You could roast a tray of veggies. I like the air fryer. Air fryer is like my best friend. It gets things done so fast, and I can leave it while I do other things. Oh, pre-cooked grains. I tried making rice while Kim was in New York. Apparently, I forgot to grease the thing and burn the rice, but it still came out okay. So we leave the rice to the missus. She takes care of that, and I'll handle the sweet potatoes. Bake them or dice them. Portion it out. The tear button. I don't know if everybody's familiar with the tear button. The tear button is your best friend. If you're getting started on this, I'm at the point where I can eyeball it now. So when I first started I'm weighing out the containers. I'll put the container in there on the scale. I'll hit the tear button. The container's magically disappeared. So now I can the put the ground bison in there. Perfect. got my 20 grams in there, tear button, clears it out. Now I can put, and you actually don't even have to do this because I use the cup for rice. Rice is probably the easiest one to measure. That's why I lean on it so heavily when I'm tracking calories. It's so easy to just scoop in rice and know that you're getting a cup, know that you're getting a quarter cup, whatever it is, and divvy it up that way. But that tear button is golden, it's money. And where am I going with that? Yeah, portion it out and then add some fats in, add some fats and add the veggies in. I don't really count, I don't track the veggies. I know veggies are going to be good for me unless they're like starchy veggies, those greens, the asparagus, the broccoli. I'm not worried about. I don't know that anybody's ever gotten obese on eating broccoli and asparagus. Thanks, Val. There's a couple people, I'm going to say it right now. There's a couple people on the internet that are like demonizing fruits and like the amount of freaking berries you would have to eat to 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 get fat off berries is just ridiculous. Like it's not going to happen. No, it's not going to happen. Like there's too many good things in the berries, the micronutrients and the being anti-inflammatory, all that stuff. Over the summer, my doctor told me unlimited veggies, so that's my motto for the rest of the year. I support it. You're just, it's very, my dad, 60 something years old, he wakes up every morning, has I want to say it's a smooth, no, he has a bowl of yogurt, loads it with berries, blackberries, raspberries, almost said red berries, blackberries, raspberries, blueberries, loads it on up with that stuff. And he is very um he never wants to, he would like to avoid ever getting cancer. So he's loading up with antioxidants and nutrients, and that's where he started. He wants to kick his day off with that fuel, and he wants to get all those little healthy micronutrients in from those foods. So when he comes, I have to buy that stuff. I have to have it in the fridge. He'll sit there, no, don't get anything. We'll be fine. My mother always says it, don't buy anything. We'll be fine on food. I hear him at 6 o'clock in the morning when they come. He's in the fridge. He's like, oh, they got the yogurt, they got the berries. He's going in a little bit of nuts or granola. It's good stuff. I see fruit equals sugar all the time. Heavy eye roll on that one. I'm glad y'all are on the same page with that. Use containers that make grab and go effortless. So I have Amazon containers that are very similar to that. Mine break out into two sides so I can load up the veggies on one side. I mix the beef and the rice on the other. And that's getting me through the days. Today I had 12 calls, some of them with a 15-minute gap. So I was able to pull that out, heat it up, eat, make sure I didn't have any beef in my teeth, and then get on the calls with a couple of y'all. Keep one meal ready for emergencies. Your plan B meal. Should have thought before I put plan B. Kim just picked up. So if you have Aldi around you, Kim got a tray, very small, little about yay size, a little bigger than my palm, of rotisserie chicken from Aldi. It's all shredded, just the chicken in there. And she's like, babe, look at this. It's just chicken. It's straight. Look at the macros. It's just protein in there. How good is this? Is this good? I'm like, this is fantastic. Because I was bored of my prep meals today. So I doled out a serving. I still got my 20 grams of protein from that. So keeping something like that ready for emergencies. We'll go to, is the Publix rotisserie chicken's probably got some other stuff, but at least I know I'm getting some protein in there. And then prep like you'll stick to it. I think when you see that stuff in the fridge, you're good. Start small. You can, just prep your lunches or post run meals. Throw it in the chat if you go over on calories post run, or if you think you just gorge after a run, even if it's just a 45-minute run. Nobody good. And give you enough time to chat.
I'm guilty.
Nothing wrong with that. Your body needs fuel. But sometimes, and running can actually go either way. So Heather, there's a reason. Heather, I was actually looking for that too. Your body, anybody ever heard of glucagon-like peptide? Nope. Anybody ever heard of GLP-1?
Yeah, that's that new stuff that they're pushing right now, isn't it? For weight loss.
That's the new stuff
primarily
they're
a
pushing.
diabetic drug.
That's the new stuff they're pushing right now for weight loss. Everybody's heard of GLP. No, not a lot of people hear by its main name, but your body actually releases glucagon like peptide naturally. So some people have the response where when they run, when they work out, their body releases that, like Heather, who's not hungry after her run. Body naturally releases it. I'm not hungry. That's why your body's releasing that. And there's some supplements you can take, berberine being one of them, that will actually increase your body's ability to produce that. So will help with a little bit of appetite suppression if you find yourself constantly hungry. But, if you can avoid the shot, avoid the shot. Pick meals that you enjoy and look forward to eating. I love protein, so I'm at an unfair advantage when it comes to my diet. Like I just love some meat. So we're good there. Use frozen veggies, pre-cooked proteins, time-saving tools. Um, I might have mentioned on the last call, Costco. Costco is just a gold mine of pre-portioned proteins. There's a brand called Amy Lou. They make these chicken patties. They come in a 12 pack. They're delicious. We buy them, we keep them in the fridge for when we want something different. It still hits the goal. Um, they do chicken sausages like that. I literally, Kat, who we were talking about before, Kat sent had that question for me last week. She's like, "How do I need food that I don't have to meal prep this week." She's in the process of moving. She's in some chaos. The red pepper and Gouda one is so good. Um, Costco, they also do like a pre-cooked thing of steak. It's a little on the pricey side when you look at it. When you look at it, it's not 14.99, it's 14.99 a pound, and there's like 2 pounds in that thing. So be prepared for the sticker shock because it is a pre-packaged thing. You would think it would just be by the package. No, nope. It is not. I learned that the hard way, but it is good. It's a good, quick source of steak, but there's a lot of stuff out there that is prepped, can go in your freezer, and you can pull out when you need that protein. I'm missing a couple. I'll probably throw them in the chat. Throw them in the chat. You can get egg bites now, pre-portioned. There's so many things at Costco that you can, and same with Sam's Club and BJ's, that you can freeze, and they're good, healthy sources. So I love those just for when I need a little extra variety. Frozen veggies, pre-cook them, pre-cook the proteins. So time-saving tools, Instant Pot, air fryer. Schedule the prep session. I treat it like a workout. Like that's my thing on Sunday morning. Before we kick off the day, I am getting that done so that I know I can enjoy football. I'm a Jet fan. I haven't enjoyed football in quite some time. Quite some time. I say that. Let me enjoy football, and then Kim watches my depression every Sunday. And yeah, that's that. Treat it like a workout. 2 to 3 staple sauces. If you've never heard of G Hughes, GHUs, makes a lot of low calorie, low carb sauces. And I'm guilty. Like I have these pre-made meals. I figured out my macros for the week. I had to I had to stop and help somebody out the other day. And when I went to heat up my meal, there was Chick-fil-A sauce at the location I was at. And I was like, you know what? Ground beef is good. Ground beef with Chick-fil-A sauce, let's go in on it. I threw it on there and I looked and I'm like, how is this little packet 120 calories? I could afford an extra 120 calories, but I was just like, damn. If I had done that on every meal, 120, 240, 360 calories, bam. No wonder it's so easy to, go overboard. But the GU's, Whitney does it, the stir fry sauce. He's got dressings now, and it's really good stuff for low impact. We use a lot of hot sauces, spices that really just don't have a big calorie dent that they're gonna put on you. Chick-fil-A sauce is so good. I knew we were starting up this challenge, and I always like to hold myself accountable when we do these, when I do these. So we went in on Chick-fil-A on Saturday, and I have no regrets because I'm like, I'm gonna get focused for 3 weeks. Chick-fil-A was on Saturday. And I think I hit the end, which leaves us. Oh my God, it took it right to 7. There's my little Canva thing. I should have stopped sharing the screen first. Boom. You can probably see me again. Yep, I'm up there. Let me move me down here. I'll leave room for questions. I'm not in a rush, but I got, we got questions tonight. I'm scratching my foot. I got a little itch. Why buy it? We buy a tub of Chick-fil-A sauce to bring back home. Go throw that in the garbage. How are you killing me? I'm trying to get you back on track and you telling me that. Other meds, let me see if I missed anything. You could throw questions in the chat. I'm gonna see if I missed anything, but let me know what you got. I knew I was gonna pack a lot in there. I can't believe I took exactly an hour on that. Going back. This was where I wanted to get to. Needed to hear about the BMI score tonight after a doctor told me to work out more. You know, BMI is tricky. BMI is very, I don't know what's going on. My foot's so itchy. BMI is tricky. It does not account for muscle. I said I have easy access to InBody scanners. So I will go do an InBody. I know they're not 100% accurate, but they are more accurate than the scale in my restroom, in my bathroom. So I'll use an InBody and it's somewhere between 10 to 12% body fat, which is not anywhere near obese. And when I put my numbers through BMI, I fall into the obese category or the overweight category. And you go get my annual physical, just like Val did. And yeah, definitely included that info. If you have more muscle on your body, it's going to skew that number up. BMI literally just takes your height and your weight, it throws it in a calculator. It's silly. It's silly. Very helpful training for dopey. Check this out more. I have a love hate with BMI. Is there a better way, better metric to monitor? Body fat's going to be the king. But again, with the scale, you know what? My scale isn't uploading to my phone. It's really triggering me. And I was just not in the mood to troubleshoot it at 4:30 in the morning and wake the wife up. But it's supposed to track right to my phone. But I want to say my body fat on that scale registered somewhere around like 20%. And generally for a male, if you're under 15% body fat on a man, you're going to see at least a little bit of abs. If you're under 12% is where you would see like, okay, homeboy got abs. If you're 5 to 8%, you're going to be like lean, shredded physique competitor. I can definitely see a good amount of abs. So I know that scale is just not accurate at 20%, but I use it just to keep an eye on I nerd out over the weight fluctuations. So an InBody would be golden. Heather, I know you're in the UK, but next time you come out here, I would say get a DexaFit. For anybody in the US, DexaFit, there's about 130 to 150. It's not cheap. Something I would say do quarterly. Selfishly, I'm trying to partner with DexaFit so that they let me film some videos in there and promote them. And I get free DEXA scans so that I don't have to spend $600 a year to do it. But DEXA scan is going to be the very probably gold standard outside of going to a university and doing the hydrostatic, hydroelectric, whatever it is. They put you in the water and test you out there. But yeah, BMI is, I don't even know why they still use that. Tuesday, that's where we went wrong. I'm going to enjoy the haggis and deep fried Mars bars on my Scotland trip and then not weigh myself on Monday. And I will give you I hadn't weighed myself for a couple weeks just because I try not to harp on it all year. Try not to weigh myself, too much. So we did the first day of the challenge. I weighed myself that morning at 215 pounds. That was after, I said, Kim, I'm gonna do some eating this weekend before I start the challenge because I never want to send somebody through what I am, you know, what I won't go through myself. So I want to be as dialed in as I expect everybody here is. So I will, and I know we're going a little long. If anybody has to pop off, pop off. You catch anything on a replay, but so I want to dial in. So Saturday we had Chick-fil-A for lunch. What did we have for dinner? I don't even recall what we had for dinner, but it was a frozen pizza. I'm not even gonna lie. Frozen pizza. Sunday, gosh, it was like 3 days ago. I can't even remember what we did. Well, we were doing stuff around the house. Doing stuff around the house and was not I think we might have had Chipotle for lunch and something else can't even remember for dinner. but it was not my scale. Moral of the story is my scale was at 215.2 pounds, if I'm not mistaken, on Sunday. I started eating or on Monday morning, I started eating just clean, not even worried too much about calories. By Tuesday morning, I was down to 213.3. This morning, I was down to a flat 210. That is just the inflammation and me flushing eating natural foods, eating real foods. And tonight, I'll have Taco Tuesday, and I can bet that scale goes back up to about 212 tomorrow. And then it'll hopefully come back down by Friday, and then we enjoy the weekend and reset. What I'm looking for is that overall trend line to come down. Joe Jack definitely saw me double fisting the beers at one point. The line is long for the beers, so we go and we get two. Okay. Beer, champagne. Came back from wine and dine, only gained 3 pounds, lost in a few days. Bob, being a living example. See, we covered that, covered that, covered that. Still bewildered that tilapia causes you that. Fruit equals sugar all the time. You know what? And I'll send me the influencer that says that, because I can probably point out some back knee that shows that they're on some unnatural products and they have a very deep voice like this. They're just trying to get you to buy some crap. It's always, oh, buy Advocare. Feel like a bottomless pit. These things happen. Just focus on the protein. It should fill you up more. Running depends. I gorge. Covered all that. I went way high up. Going through all of them. Made me walk past 3 tube stops and get in my steps before the end of the day. Speaking of, I am on. What did I hit? What did I hit? 14,881 steps. I'm feeling good. I like doing egg cups in a muffin tin and doing the eggs plus blended up cottage cheese. You can throw some veggies in there. You can dice up some bacon in there too. And Kim made those a few times. They're delicious. Ramekins? I don't even know what that is. The perfect size to hold a slice of Canadian bacon. I'll put that in, add an egg or two. Boom, air fry it. Genius. Genius. If Sophie, if you want to share a breakdown of that, man, bonus points, because I feel like everybody would benefit. I love that. When she made those, I love it. And I got to figure out how the heck she made it. Maybe she'll put the recipe up for us. I struggle, I'll ask. I also get the oats overnight brand of overnight oats. That is 20 grams of protein for most of the flavors. Super easy to do the night before, real easy. Peanut butter in my oatmeal for breakfast. Depending on, just watch the calories, because peanut butter, oh, that's a ramekin. I know what that is. With the peanut butter, it's very easy to go overboard. So I would say measure it, because it's very eye-opening the first time you measure peanut butter and you're like, that's a serving. And you'll realize you never ate a serving of peanut butter in your life. You ate 32 servings. I go through a 32 serving thing of peanut butter in 5. So when I put it in my oatmeal, I tend to go overboard. So I really only do that during bulking season. 2 always frittata, something like this. Am I costing you money? I'm going through hunting clothes for my trip, and there's too much that doesn't fit. Good problem to have, Heather. That was Heather's stuff we were looking at before. That's a good problem to have.
Yeah, good problem, but it's expensive.
Any reason not to use frozen, already grilled chicken if we don't have time to cook it? So, Dan, that works too. Another thing we get at Costco that I had sent to Kat. Costco has I want to say it's a 12, two rows of 6. So I think it's a 12 pack, and it's 20 grams of just grilled chicken diced up, and they tear off, and they're fantastic. So we freeze them. They're in the freezer now. I can send a picture when we get off here. They're in the freezer. We pull it out, let it thaw, and she loves those because she just keeps one in the office fridge all week just in case. And she's been messaging me all week. She's been relentless. She's like, babe, I hit my protein. 120 grams. So I like that, Dan. I like that, Dan. Heather, I'll leave with a funny story tonight. Since we're talking about clothes not fitting, I remember when we got married, we walked into the store to get I got the tux fitted, and I said to the guy, because we were like, did the initial fitting. I said to the gentleman, I was like, I want you to leave about an inch more on the quads. And he's like, okay. I said, my waist is going to come down by about an inch and my quads are going to go up by an inch. Well, needless to say, right before 2 weeks final fitting, whatever the hell it was, they had to emergency order me new pants because I went into a bulk and I put an inch on my legs, and then I went right into a cut because I was getting, I had to look good coming down the aisle. And yeah, I know the feeling of having to adjust your clothes. I actually will not throw away jeans for that reason because when I go into a bulk, I need all the jeans that I used to have, and then I come go into a cut and like I have 4 inches of space in there. So yeah, get it. I feel like I've been rambling all night. I've been going. Anybody else got any questions? If not, I'll send you off to eat. We'll talk workouts on the next call. If you signed up for the VIP group, keep an eye on your text tomorrow. I'm going to add you to another call and see if you want to hang out with some of my other friends. That'd be a more open forum, so bring your headaches. All right. With that, you're dismissed. Make good decisions this week. Prep this weekend, and we'll chat in the chat. Send me all the questions you got. Bye.
Night, Tom.
Night, Larry. I don't know how to end the call on here. When it's like 2 screens, I always get stuck. Let's just do this.